How to stay calm and confident when you're triggered. So, you know that feeling? Your heart starts to race, your mind goes foggy, and suddenly you're either snapping at everyone, like your kids, your partner, or completely shutting down. The confident, grounded version of you has left the building. She's nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be heard. And the confidence toolkit exists because of moments like the one I'm describing. And I'll put the link in the description. But for now, let's get into it. Being triggered isn't the issue. It's really not the issue. We all get triggered. Being triggered is part of the human experience. So we need to reframe how we're looking at being triggered. And what I see with my clients is being triggered is the trigger in itself, in the sense of they're triggered, oh my God, what is happening? And they think the world's ending. And that's what creates the massive spiral. Okay, so let's do some reframing. Let's clear that out, okay, so you can stay calm and confident when these triggers happen. What is actually happening when you're being triggered? Your brain's threat detection system doesn't know the difference between your brain's threat detection system doesn't really know the difference between a tiger and your mother-in-law's comment about your parenting. A trigger, okay? But your brain doesn't know when is it like, holy moly, I'm in danger, help, help, versus this is kind of just like a ridiculous trigger. Why am I feeling this way? When it perceives danger, okay, whether it's your mother-in-law's comment or a tiger, it floods your system with stress hormones and takes your logical thinking offline. And the great news is now that you know that, we can react differently. Okay. And let's go into a little bit deeper of what's actually happening during these moments of trigger. Again, whether it's a tiger or a comment that you received, your alarm system hijacks your prefrontal cortex. Blood flow directs from clear thinking to survival mode. You're literally not operating from the same brain that handles calm, confident responses, and old patterns and reactions take over automatically. This is why when you're being triggered, you're no longer thinking logically. You're no longer thinking, you're no longer behaving in a way that you have told yourself that you would react. You are literally now just in survival mode. So let's go through a few in the moment strategies. And something I want to really specify on is just because I say that you're in survival mode when you're triggered, whether it's a tiger or a mother-in-law comment, partner's comment, a kid's comment, it doesn't mean it always has to be that way. So if you retrain your nervous system, if you create new habits of how you react to a trigger, you can train yourself to actually remain calm and confident when you're triggered, no matter what happens. You can rewire your brain. You can rewire how you feel when you're being triggered. So you can actually respond to the trigger from a very calm and confident place. And that will actually change the outcome. There's a difference between I'm choosing to respond to this trigger versus I am now reacting to this trigger. So let's dive in. A few of them in the moment strategies that you can do. And like, honestly, as a mum of 5, we don't have enough time. Okay, I'm not going to be giving you strategies where you need to go down and meditate for half an hour or do a 30-minute breathwork session. We don't always have that. And let's face it, sometimes triggers happen in the middle of nowhere. We can't predict when we're going to be triggered. Okay? So we just want something that will instantly stop it. Okay? So 1, name it to tame it. It is so powerful to just go, I'm feeling triggered right now. Just naming it is actually releasing it from your body. It's actually completing the cycle in your body, so you're not holding on to it because you're not running and escaping it from. So just name it and tame it. You can, if you don't know the wording, you can just go, I'm feeling triggered right now. I'm feeling angry right now. That comment really hurt me right now. Why did my mother-in-law say that? this is making me feel a bit anxious. So just naming it to tame it really brings it to the conscious mind and it frees you from it. Breathe to reset. Now, I'm not a breathwork facilitator. In fact, I actually don't like breathwork. I know, odd. I don't have the patience to do 30 minutes of breathwork. It's not my jam. However, it is super powerful. Okay. And certain people would actually say breath has vibration. So to shift how you are feeling, the breath is super powerful. So even though I'm not a breathwork facilitator, I'm not going to tell you to go and do 30 minutes or an hour of breath work. I will drum into the power of conscious breathing. And the way this looks for me is I inhale for 4 seconds and then exhale for 8 seconds. There's different variations, but this is the one that I personally recommend to clients. I found really powerful for myself. But the goal in mind is the long exhale needs to be longer than your inhale. Okay, so let's not, make rules about how long each inhale and how long you have to hold. Just have the goal in mind. Your exhale needs to be longer than your inhale because this activates your vagus nerve and it signals safety in your nervous system. Okay, and this is so even if you're just feeling triggered or you've got an emotional charge about something, even if you just stop and just focus on your breath for a couple of rounds, I promise you, and feel free to send me a message or email me if this is not the case for you. I promise within a few rounds, you'll notice the grip on that trigger has lightened or even disappeared. 3, buy yourself some time. Why do you need to react to that trigger in that moment? What is going to happen to you if you just pause for a moment? Tell yourself, let me think about that. Tell the person that might have triggered you, let me think about that and get back to you. You don't always have to respond immediately. I was listening to a talk and it was basically labeled the power of the pause. And it's so powerful. How much would change in your life if you stopped reacting all the time and you bought yourself some time by just choosing to pause before responding, pausing before you reacting? Because then when you come and revisit it, you're probably in a different mindset, different energy, and you might respond in a better way. Okay. And the way I also like to do is buy yourself some time and then become an FBI agent. Before you respond, can you dive deeper into why were you triggered? What about that triggered me? What am I feeling? Is this even true? And just get to the bottom of it, of why did you react that way? And before I go on to the last 2, I also want to say a lot of the times the trigger is a past response. Sometimes we're triggering, our body is reacting before we've even processed it, before we've even thought. So when you start to loosen the grip by being an FBI agent, asking yourself questions, getting to the bottom of it, getting to the root cause of it, all of a sudden, it's no longer hijacking you. It no longer has you feeling trapped. Okay, so that's really super powerful. At 4, ground through your senses. And everyone knows this. Notice 3 things you can see, 2 things you can hear, 1 thing you can touch. And this pulls you out of the fight or flight and into the present moment. And in somatic therapy, what we do is breathing into where you're feeling that trigger. If you dive into that trigger, you will feel in your body somewhere. Okay, breathing into it. Can you touch it? What sounds want to escape you? And again, just doing these little exercises is actually freeing the trigger. Feel your feet. Literally feel your feet on the ground. This connects you to your body. And again, it helps regulate your nervous system. There's nothing more powerful than connecting to your body when you're feeling triggered. But here's the deeper truth that I really want you to understand. The goal is to never get triggered. Being triggered is a part of the human experiences. Okay, you need to be triggered because the goal is to heal what's getting triggered. What caused that trigger? What have you been holding on to? Or what are your past emotional baggage, experiences, events that you've gone through that you've been holding on to? It's in your nervous system that is creating you being triggered. So when you can clear all of that out, you're not going to be triggered as much. It's not that intense reaction, that emotional charge you're feeling isn't really about what actually just happened. It's about the emotional wound that you've been holding on to. That very first time you felt dismissed, criticized, unsafe, or not enough. And with root cause therapy, we're finding those original moments where the trigger pattern got wired in us. And we're releasing the trapped emotions and rewire the beliefs that's keeping you reactive. Because again, the goal is not to be triggered. The goal is to respond with these triggers versus reacting to it. So when you heal at the root level, you still notice when something bothers you because people will bother us. Kids will bother us. Life will bother us. But it no longer hijacks your whole system. It no longer hijacks your life or joy or peace. You can stay present and respond from choice, not reaction. You can choose the ending. Your confidence comes from knowing you can handle whatever comes up. You model emotional regulation for your children. The most confident people are not the ones who never get upset or never get triggered. They're the ones who have done the inner work and they know how to come back to themselves quickly. They know how to come back to themselves and then responding from a conscious, grounded place. Your triggers are showing you exactly what needs healing. And my goal is to show you that's actually a gift. Triggers can really help you grow. They can help you manifest. They can help you have the most beautiful life. Your confidence doesn't have to rate, okay? And get the toolkit so you can feel steady the moment life pushes back. I will link it in the description. And for now, I'll see you in the next video, how to stop freezing and second guessing yourself during conversations.